Most people live their whole lives without ever touching their true power. They wake, they work, they sleep, and call it living. But beneath the routine, beneath the noise, something waits. A current, silent, patient, the energy of the soul. You've felt glimpses of it, in moments of stillness, in the shiver of awe under a night sky, in the fire of love that made you feel more alive than your body could contain. Those were not accidents. Those were reminders, because energy is not just biology. It's not just electricity in the brain. It is life itself, flowing through you, whether you notice it or not. And here's the paradox. The more you chase it, the more it slips away, because energy doesn't respond to control. It responds to awareness. It responds to surrender. And once you learn how to feel it, move it, align with it, everything changes. This is not a guide to theory. It's not about ancient words or complex rituals. It's about remembering what was always within you, the forgotten energy. And once you awaken it, you'll never see yourself or the world the same again. Every human carries a current, a silent river flowing beneath the skin. It powers your heartbeat. It sparks your thoughts. It breathes life into every cell. Yet most people never even notice it, because we were taught to chase the external, to move the world around us, without first learning how to move the world within us. This inner energy isn't mystical poetry. It's the essence of being alive. Ancient traditions called it prana, chi, ruach, spiritus. Different names, same truth. It is the force that animates you, the invisible thread between body and soul. And when you ignore it, you feel scattered, drained, lost in noise. But when you remember it, everything changes. Your breath deepens, your thoughts soften, your presence sharpens. You stop being a shadow pulled by the world and begin to radiate from within. This is why the first step in energy work is not technique, not control, not even practice. It is remembrance. To pause long enough to feel that you are more than muscle, more than bone, more than story. You are current. You are flow. You are energy in human form. And once you see this truth, you can never unsee it, because the forgotten energy within you has been waiting for you to finally turn inward and listen. Before you move energy through the body, you must learn to move the breath in your lungs, because breath is not just oxygen. It is rhythm. It is presence. It is the bridge between body and soul. Every inhale invites life in. Every exhale teaches release. And in that simple exchange, you begin to feel the current that has always been there. Notice how shallow most breathing is. Fast, distracted, unaware. It keeps you locked in the surface of life. But when you slow down, when you breathe deep into the belly, when you let silence fill the spaces between breaths, something awakens. The body relaxes, the mind softens, and the energy, once hidden, begins to stir. This is why every tradition of energy work begins here, not with power, not with control, but with surrender to the breath. Breath is the first teacher. It teaches patience. It teaches rhythm. It teaches you to return again and again to the center of yourself. So before you try to raise energy, before you try to direct or expand it, learn this simple mastery: to breathe as if each inhale was the first breath you ever took. To breathe as if each exhale was your final release. Because when you master the breath, you don't just feed the body. You awaken the soul. Energy doesn't move because you force it. It moves because you notice it. Awareness is the hand that guides the current. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Think about it. When your mind is scattered, your energy feels scattered too. When your focus sharpens, your presence strengthens. This is no accident. Awareness is the conductor, and your body is the orchestra. Close your eyes for a moment. Bring your attention to your hands. Do you feel the subtle tingling, the warmth? That is energy responding to focus. Now shift awareness to your chest. Notice the rise and fall with each breath. Notice the quiet hum beneath it all. That, too, is energy. The flow begins here. Not with control, but with attention. Because the more you sense, the more you can shape. And the more you shape, the more you remember. That energy was never separate from you. This is the hidden secret. The body doesn't just carry energy. It listens to awareness. So the first movement of energy is not external at all. It's the simple act of noticing and letting the noticing become power. Awareness is the key that unlocks the current. And once you turn it inward, you realize the river was always waiting. If energy is flow, then why do so many feel empty, heavy, disconnected? Because the current meets resistance, not in the body alone, but in the mind, in the heart, in the stories we carry without knowing. Every fear is a knot, every resentment a stone in the river, every unspoken grief a dam that holds back the current. And though you may breathe deeply, though you may sit in silence, the energy stumbles against these walls. Tension in the shoulders is not just muscle. It's the weight of what you refused to release. The tightness in your chest is not random. It's the echo of words never spoken. The body remembers what the mind forgets, and those memories become blockages, silent, invisible, yet powerful enough to hold back the river of your life. But here's the truth. Blockages are not enemies. They are signals. They show you where love was withheld. They show you where forgiveness never arrived. They show you the places inside, still waiting to be seen. Energy work isn't about fighting these knots. It's about meeting them, breathing into them, letting awareness soften their grip, until flow returns on its own. Because every blockage hides a lesson. Every knot, when untied, releases not just energy, but wisdom. And the soul knows what once held you down can become the very power that lifts you higher. Once the blockages begin to loosen, the current awakens. It starts subtle. A warmth in your palms, a hum in your chest, a gentle vibration crawling along the spine. You may think it's your imagination, but the soul knows better. This is the river remembering itself. At first, it feels like a flicker, a pulse here, a tingle there. But with breath, awareness, and patience, the flicker becomes a flame. The body lights up, the mind grows quiet, and suddenly you realize you are not generating energy, you are revealing it. Because energy was never absent, it was dormant, waiting for your attention, waiting for your surrender. And when it awakens, life itself feels different. Colors sharpen, sounds carry depth, even silence feels alive. The awakening current is not dramatic. It doesn't demand rituals or performance. It flows naturally, like a stream freed from stone. It needs only your presence, your patience, your willingness to feel. And as it rises, you discover something profound. Energy doesn't just move inside you. It moves as you. Every gesture, every word, every glance becomes infused with it. The awakening current is not a gift you chase. It's a homecoming, a reminder that you were never powerless, only disconnected. Energy doesn't awaken by accident. It awakens through rhythm. A single breath is powerful. Yes, but it's the daily return to breath that rewires the soul. A single moment of awareness opens the current, but it's the practice of awareness that keeps the river flowing. This is the power of ritual. Not ritual as performance, not ritual as superstition, but ritual as devotion. The choice to sit each morning in silence. The choice to breathe fully, even when the mind resists. The choice to feel your energy before the noise of the world pulls you away. Ritual is not about repetition. It's about alignment. Each act says to the soul, I remember you. And with every return, the current grows stronger. If this message resonates with your inner journey, you may be ready to go deeper. I've created a 19-day journal called The 19-Day Awakening. It's not just pages. It's a sacred space for reflection, healing, and inner transformation. You'll find it in the first pinned comment below when the time is right. Daily ritual is not small. It is the foundation of transformation, because energy doesn't just move when you demand it. It moves when you honor it. And when you return again and again to this practice, you discover something profound. The ritual was never about discipline. It was about remembrance. And remembrance is what turns flow into power. Energy doesn't just flow through the body. It flows through emotion. Every feeling you carry is fuel. Joy expands you. Fear contracts you. Gratitude softens you. Anger hardens you. Your emotions are not separate from energy. They are the language energy speaks. Notice how love feels like warmth in the chest. Notice how anxiety buzzes in the stomach. Notice how grief sits heavy in the throat. These are not random sensations. They are the body's way of showing you where energy gathers and where it stalls. Most people try to control emotions, to suppress them. to judge them, but suppression is stagnation, and stagnation blocks the current. The path is not to silence emotion, but to listen, to breathe into it, to let the wave rise and let it pass. Because emotion is motion. It is energy in movement. When you deny it, you trap it. When you honor it, you free it. And the freer it becomes, the lighter you feel. The clearer you think, the more alive your presence becomes. This is why true energy work is never cold or mechanical. It is tender, it is raw. It requires you to feel deeply. Not just the light emotions, but the shadowed ones too. Because every emotion carries wisdom. And when you stop resisting, you realize the heart was not a weakness. It was always the power. At first, energy feels small. A tingle in the hands, a hum in the breath, a warmth behind the eyes. But as you continue, something shifts. The current no longer feels trapped inside skin. It spills beyond. It stretches outward, as if your presence itself has grown larger. This is the expansion beyond the body. The moment you realize you are not confined to bone and muscle, that your energy radiates like light from a flame, like ripples from a stone dropped into water. Have you noticed how some people enter a room and the space changes? How calm falls when one soul walks in and chaos follows another? That is energy in expansion. It reaches before words. It speaks before sound. It carries truth without effort. When you begin to expand, the world feels different. Colors seem brighter, silence feels deeper, and sometimes you sense the emotions of others as if they were your own. This is not imagination. It is resonance, your field brushing against theirs, your current touching their current. Expansion is not about control. It's about surrender, letting the current flow freely enough that it no longer stops at the edges of your skin, because when energy expands beyond the body, you remember you were never just a body. You were always a field, a presence, a soul moving in waves of light. Energy alone is power, but energy without direction is just movement. The soul is the compass. The soul is the alignment. When energy and soul meet, life flows with purpose, not because you control it, but because you finally allow it. So many chase energy for the wrong reasons: to feel special, to gain power, to escape their pain. But energy divorced from soul only feeds the ego. It inflates the mask. It strengthens the illusion. True awakening happens when energy bows to soul. When the current doesn't just move, but moves in harmony with truth. That's when your words heal instead of harm. That's when your silence carries weight. That's when presence itself becomes prayer. And alignment doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean constant bliss. It means coherence. It means honesty. It means the current of your being is no longer split between ego and truth. This is the quiet power. Not fireworks, not spectacle, but the deep, steady flow of energy, anchored in the wisdom of the soul. And once you taste this alignment, you'll never crave performance again, because you'll know power was never in control. It was in surrender. And finally, you arrive at the truth. The energy you were chasing, the current you thought you had to master, was never outside of you. It was never separate. It was never scarce. It has always been here, flowing, waiting, like an underground spring beneath your life. You don't generate it. You uncover it. You don't control it. You align with it. And once you realize this, the search ends. Because the source was never a technique, never a secret, never a prize for the worthy. It was your very essence. This is why true masters appear so simple, so ordinary. They don't radiate effort. They radiate being. They stopped chasing energy long ago. They simply remembered what they are. And so must you. Because the infinite source is not in a temple, not in a ritual, not even in the stars above. It is within, closer than your own breath, quieter than your own thoughts, deeper than your own striving. When you finally stop reaching, you will feel it. When you finally stop performing, you will hear it. The infinite source within, the eternal current of the soul. And once you touch it, you will understand. Awakening was never about becoming more. It was always about remembering. You already are. Energy was never missing. It was never outside of you. It was hidden beneath fear, beneath distraction, beneath the endless stories that told you you were powerless. But now, you know the truth. Every breath is a gateway. Every thought is a ripple. Every emotion is a current. And when you align them with the soul, life itself flows differently. Not with effort, not with force, but with presence. So don't wait for the perfect ritual. Don't chase the next secret. Don't try to steal what was always yours. Instead, pause, breathe. Notice the current. Let it rise, let it guide. Because the forgotten energy was never really forgotten. It was only waiting for you to remember. And now, the choice is yours. Will you return to distraction, or will you step into power? If this spoke to your soul, let it be more than a moment. Subscribe, share your truth in the comments below, and turn on notifications, because this journey has only just begun. The energy is already moving, and once you feel it, you can never go back.